It is no secret to longtime fans of the channel that trading card games have been a big influence in my life, both on and off the channel. In this series, both DemonBattler and myself will be opening 24 packs, or one box, of each core Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set in chronological order. After each opening, we will build decks from all of the cards we have opened thus far, then duel each other in a best-of-3 match with 3 prizes up for grabs to improve our decks. The winner will receive 2 of those prizes, and the loser will get 1. The possibilities for prizes are almost limitless, including single cards, sealed product, structure decks, and much more. Every card in the entire game's history will be obtainable in some form. However, neither of us will be able to rest on past laurels easily. The ever-changing official Forbidden and Limited list, our own choices of cards to be banished to the Shadow Realm, and even changes to the very rules of the game will keep our decks and duels fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Crimson Crisis was released March 3rd, 2009. This set introduced the Blackwing archetype, a synchro-based dark winged beast archetype that terrorized the metagame for several consecutive formats through multiple ban lists. This set also includes support for the Assault Mode, Morphtronic, Alien, Plant, and Frog archetypes. This is a big set with cards across the rarity spectrum, so I will go down the important ones. The first ones that I would like to go over are the Blackwings. This is not going to be a playable archetype now, but it's very important that we pick these up for the next set, Raging Battle, because once Raging Battle hits, all hell is going to break loose in our format, and it's very, very possible that we may end up playing Blackwing Mirrors for quite some time. The Blackwing Mirrors are one of the reasons why we decided to go with Turbo Duels, because they lose a lot of their oomph in not having their key spell cards. But I will discuss the first 2 Blackwings on our list. They are Blackwing Bora the Spear and Blackwing Sirocco the Dawn. Bora is just a free 1700 Piercer. If you control a different Blackwing, you can just drop it from your hand. These are some very, very swarmy birds and have a lot of OTK potential, especially with some more high-rolly cards like United We Stand. So Sirocco is a 5-star. You control no monsters and your opponent has a monster. You can normal summon or set it without a tribute, so it's kind of like a Cyber Dragon, but it takes up your normal summon. And then the effect is a little fringe, but it can come up especially with Bora. Once per turn, during your pre-combat main phase, you can target a Blackwing you control, and then it gains attack power equal to all your other Blackwings. So it can make a gigantic piercing Bora. You just need to protect against things like Sakuretsu armor. You're going to want to play at least 2 of these in your Blackwing deck. And those are the only 2 common Blackwings. We do have some other support cards I'd like to discuss for the Morphtronic archetype. And this is one of the sets that I've really been waiting to play Morphtronic for. Morphtronic Borden lets all of your Morphtronics attack directly, which is a huge problem. And then Morphtronic Slingin is removal in-house. You can throw a Morphtronic at another card on the field. This will see play within the archetype. Then we have some Frog support that I really hope to see 3 of. Even though I don't have Substitoad, you don't need Substitoad for the Frog deck to be good. We have Dupe Frog and Flip Flop Frog. Dupe Frog, if you have 2 copies of this, you can lock your opponent out of attacks, and then it floats into, well, it doesn't float, but it searches out another frog when it's sent from field to grave for any reason. And then Flip Flop Frog is a Pac-Man piece that whenever it's flipped face up, this doesn't have to be flip summoned to proc. This just has to be flipped face up, and then you can return a number of monsters your opponent controls to the hand, up to the number of frog monsters that you control, including itself. And then next is the Morphtronic field spell, Morphtronic Map. This is the card that makes Morphtronic playable, and unsurprisingly, this card got banned very, very quickly in playoffs. And I would not be surprised if it gets banned here as well, because this is what makes the Morphtronic deck go. Each time a monster's battle position gets changed, a Morphtronic map gets a morph counter. All Morphtronic monsters gain 300 attack for every morph counter on it. Now, the only downside is if you have an effect that changes multiple monsters' battle positions, such as Zero Gravity, this will only trigger once. It will not trigger once for each monster, sadly. So the best way that I find to abuse this card with the card pool that we have is actually no entry. You change all of your Morphtronics to defense position and then manually change them, so you'll get one trigger off of this for no entry, and then another trigger for manual position changes without having to put them in defense position and not be able to attack. And then when it gets destroyed and sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon a Morphtronic from your graveyard, which is good because you can proc that just by playing another field spell. And speaking of cards that some people think are field spells, we have Verdant Sanctuary, which is some insect support. This could see some play when we get to archetypes like Insector. And then at the common slot, we also have Assault Mode Activate, which hopefully we won't be playing this. This is one of the big gimmicks of Crimson Crisis, is a lot of the boss synchro monsters from earlier in 5Ds get Assault Mode forms, which if you can bring them out, they basically win the game on the spot. But this is the only way to bring them out, is this trap card. And then lastly, at the common slot, we have Morphtronic Force Field, which is a pretty powerful negate for the Morphtronic archetype. I would play 2 to 3 of these in your Morphtronic deck. This will let you negate any spell or trap that would destroy any Morphtronic monsters that you control, and then you can add a Morphtronic from your deck to your hand. So next at the rare slot, there are a lot of important cards. We have, first of all, Debris Dragon. So Debris Dragon is not going to be good now, but this is going to be a very powerful engine for making dragon synchro monsters. You just can't make level 8s with it, unless you use 3 materials, of course. But the big thing that makes this card good is this is a rank 4 engine as well, and this will see play if we can make some kind of Dragon Link deck much later on. Now, the big rare that we are looking for is Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind. This card gets limited pretty quickly, but we do need to see one of this. This is their main tuner. This is a free special summon if you have another Blackwing, and then once per turn you can permanently have the stats of a face-up monster your opponent controls. This is a very powerful tuner, and we'll see all kinds of play even outside the archetype. Now, there's not a whole ton at high rarities in this set, but there are a couple of synchro monsters that are worth talking about. So Dark Strike Fighter was one of the first synchro monsters to get banned. This card is legal in the format now because it has an errata, but pre-errata, you did not have to activate the ability during your main phase 1. So you could use this effect post-combat after attacking and then just sacrifice all your monsters to just throw all kinds of burn damage at your opponent. So initially, it had no restrictions on when you could use the effect, and it was not a hard once per turn. So this is an extremely powerful Synchro 7, and Demon, to my knowledge, does not have a Synchro 7, so this could be very scary if he pulls this. And then the other synchro monster that's very strong is Arcanite Magician. So this is specifically a spellcaster payoff. It's not generic, you have to use spellcasters to make this, but it is a 2400, and then it has an effect that lets you remove spell counters from anywhere to target any card your opponent controls and destroy it. This is not once per turn. And at the ultra rare slot, there aren't a lot of great cards. Almost all of the ultra rares in this set are either specific archetype support or they are assault mode monsters. We don't want to see any of these assault mode monsters because they are extremely gimmicky. Cosmic Fortress Golgar is the alien synchro, and we won't be playing that. But the other 2 synchros are quite serviceable. We have Blackwing Armor Master, which is the first Blackwing synchro. This specifically requires a Blackwing tuner, but the rest of it is generic. It's a Blackwing synchro, but it's not amazing. What this does is when it attacks a monster, it gets to put a wedge counter on it, and then you can remove all the wedge counters to reduce the stats of all monsters that had wedge counters on them to 0 until the end of the turn. And it also can't be destroyed by battle, but it's a 2500. When are you going to destroy that by battle? And then the other one is not generic either. This is Hyper Psychic Blaster. This is a Synchro 9 that requires non-tuner psychic monsters, and then it has 3k attack, it has has innate piercing, and it effectively lifelinks. So if it pierces over, you get to gain life points equal to the battle damage that was dealt. This is pretty strong in Psychic decks, but a Synchro 9 can be a little difficult to make. And then at the secret rare slot, there aren't really too many interesting cards. There's some more assault modes, some fairy support. None of these are really going to be worth talking about, but there's a lot of important cards in this set, and there's 3 other sets we need to discuss as well. Dark Legends had a very unusual way it was released. This came to big box stores only on November 21st of 2008. This was packaged that you would get a promo Gores the Emissary of Darkness and 2 booster packs of it. We're still going to be handling booster packs of this like we would any other reprint set, where we get 3 packs, but this was packaged in an unusual way, and LGSs did not get this. This was big box stores only, which is why a lot of the singles from this set are quite expensive. This is strictly a reprint set. It has some pretty strong reprints that I may be going after. This is another option to get polymerization. We have 3. Thunder Dragons if you didn't have them, Magic Jammer and 7 Tools at common, Mystical Space Typhoon at common, so we could pick up a 3rd. Pretty strong equips as well. They're a little dated, but Axe of Despair could be a good pickup. A Giant Trunade is the big reason why I would be going after this, because I do not have a Giant Trunade, and it is a common, which is pretty good. Toon World is in here, all the Recruiters are in here, a lot of floating monsters, ritual support, a lot of good commons, so I may be tempted to open a few packs of the set to try to get Giant Trunade. And at the rare slot, there's a lot of power as well. There's Swords of Revealing Light, which is still relevant. This would be our first chance to get Catapult Turtle. If we pick up a Catapult Turtle, the Magical Scientist OTK is online, and we can make that extremely consistent because we have Last Will. And we know that Magical Scientist is eventually going to get banned, hopefully by the end of 5Ds, so we don't have to deal with it during Zexal. Heavy Storm is a big card in here as well. And that's one of those cards that I have just really been trying to get rid of, but there have been too many strong cards in the format. So this may be a chance to get one, and just, yeah, there's a lot this set has going for it, but there's also quite a few duds. Kaiba Man is a cool reprint, Amazoness Chainmaster is a cool reprint, but there's a few good cards at common and rare. At super rare, we have a lot of cards that are currently banned in our format. Graceful Charity at super rare, but that is currently banned. Solemn Judgment is probably the only super rare that I would really like to have. Mally, if we can get a second one. Mally's only good if we can get a second one. We already both have card destruction, so it will mainly be chasing the Giant Trunade at common. And then at the ultra rare slot, we have some pretty cool reprints. This is Dark Bribe's first reprint, so this will be the first chance for Demon to get one. This is another reprint for the Head of Exodia. I believe this is our first access to Exchange of the Spirit. So there's a combo deck that we can play with the pre-errata version of this card. So the way this card works is this card has an errata. The current version requires both players to have 15 cards in their graveyard. The only requirement is that you have to have 15 cards in your graveyard. And there's no restrictions on how many you can activate per duel. So this can be used to leave your opponent with a deck of almost no cards if you can set it up correctly. There's a bunch of fairy support, but unfortunately we won't be able to see the fairy support because it's all at high rarity. And then the promo in this card is a secret rare in Dark Legends, but it is not in the packs themselves. The winner of this duel will be able to claim the scores for themselves, and that's going to be a terrifying card that we'll have to play in mind. This is the biggest reason why you attack with your smallest monsters first, is because of Gorse. So this is something that we're going to have to watch out for big time. We also have Champion Pack 8, which came to local game stores on January 5th of 2009. This set has some interesting reprints in it, but it's not great. It has a Royal Oppression reprint, but I already have a playset. A Dark Panther I have multiples of, and the rest of these commons are not amazing. There are a few really cool rare reprints, though. We have Great Shogun Xian at rare, a Burial from a Different Dimension at rare, and Necrogarden at rare. Those are ones I would go after. Magician's Valkyrie is cool, but I'm still a little bit away from building the Dark Magician deck. The new card, Gravity Behemoth, is not very good, and then the rest of these cards are just rarity upgrades. Illumina I did not pull a single copy of. If I pull one of these, I might consider seeing if I can use some crafts to get some of the Lightsworn cards while they're still around, because I love the archetype. I just don't have a lot of stuff that makes it go. And then there's one more set that came out. Duelist Pack Yusei Fudo was released on February 24th, 2009. This set has some reprints that are pretty valuable, like Junk Synchron. Junk Synchron we only had access to prior in the 5D's starter deck. So this will be a great opportunity to get that. Cobalt Hedgehog is a cool reprint. I think I got 3 of those in Duelist Genesis, though. And there's a few semi-interesting spell cards and trap cards at the common slot, but the 2 big ones are Junk Synchron and Cobalt Hedgehog. At the rare slot, we have Turbo Synchron and Nitro Synchron. These are cards that are very difficult for us to access, and they are required to make some pretty powerful Synchro monsters, so we'll be looking out for these if we can get access to this pack. And then there's the 3 Synchros that require these. There's Junk Warrior, Nitro Warrior, and Turbo Warrior, which require Junk Synchron, Nitro Synchron, and Turbo Synchron. Then there's a Stardust Dragon reprint, and both of the Ultras are actually pretty good. So Tuningware is the first tuner that can be treated as multiple different levels for the purposes of a Synchro Summon, and you get to draw a card if it is sent to the graveyard for a Synchro Summon. So this is a pretty cool tuner. And then the other Synchro in the set at Ultra Rare is Armory Arm. This card is expensive for the only reason because, one, it has been barely reprinted. It's only been printed a couple of times. And this card is the only Synchro 4 that is legal in Edison format. So if you have a bunch of small monsters, you might want to include this in your extra deck. So the big reason why this card is noteworthy is just because it's the only Synchro 4 that we're going to have for a long time. Its effect is okay, but it's just the fact that this is a Synchro 4. And with the release of Crimson Crisis came a much-needed update to the Forbidden and Limited list. This list fixed the format a ton. Dark Arm Dragon was no longer anywhere near as consistent as it used to be. It's still out there, yes, but it is nowhere near as consistent, and the format really started to open up. So we have Chaos Sorcerer to 1 from Banned, which was the only unban, and this was a very healthy unban. Then we have Dark Arm Dragon to 1, Bestiari to 1, which I'm a little disappointed because I just got the stuff to play Glads, and now Bestiari is limited, but I'm probably still going to end up playing it. It depends on what I open out of Crimson Crisis. Goyo to 1, Mizuki to 1 with the release of the Zombie World Structure deck. This surprises no one. Plague Spreader to 1, Card of Safe Return to 1, E-Tully to 1, Reinforcement of the Army to 1. And then Reinforcement of the Army is going to stay at 1 for quite some time. And then a ton of semi-limits. We have Mally to 2, Goblin Zombie to 2, Green Baboon going from 1 to 2. It did not have as much of an impact on the meta as Konami thought, so this came to 2, and then it'll pretty quickly go to 3. Ryza to 2 is pretty scary, but now that we're in Synchro format, Monarch is nowhere near as prevalent. Summoner Monk is a new card that we will have access to pretty soon. That gets limited to 2 copies, Allure of Darkness to 2, Destiny Draw to 2, Gold Sark to 2, Mind Crush to 2, and Ultimate Offering to 2. And then we have some unlimits, Manticore of Darkness, Phantom of Chaos, Twin-Headed Behemoth with its errata is now at 3 copies, Book of Moon to 3 copies, and Doubleman of Crossout to 3 copies. Alright, 24 packs of Crimson Crisis. We are looking for those Black Wings. I would like to see 3 copies of Sirocco, 3 copies of Bora, and at least 1 copy of Gale. More copies would be nice, because Gale does eventually come off the list, though not for a while. And in a limited format such as this, Black Wings can still be quite relevant even into Pendulum Era. So it could be great to open more, but I really would like to see 1, because the Blackwing tuners are really what makes that deck go. Just 1 for being tuners, and 2, the cards are just powerful standalone. So let's get things started with our first pack, and nothing great. We did get a Borden, though. That's probably the most noteworthy card in the set. And then Assault Beast I didn't talk about. This lets you discard it to search an Assault mode activate if you're going to be playing the Assault mode deck, but I don't think that's going to happen. And there's a Sirocco and a Gale. That is where we want to start. We also got a super rare. Unfortunately, it's an alien super rare. I'll just go ahead and read this just to see what we ended up getting. It's not great. There's a Morphtronic Force Field. The rest of this... Oh, we got a map, too. That's really important for Morphtronic. We want to see 3 map because that is the card that makes that deck go. You want to play 3 map in as many ways as possible to find it. And there's a Sam Knight. That's not great. It is a Gladiator Beast, though. What does this even read? So if it tags in when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you get to search a Gladiator Beast card. I guess it's an okay one-of, but you don't get immediate value when you tag in, which is what you're looking for in that deck. And there's another Sirocco. That's about the only card that I like out of this pack, but we do need to see 3 of these commons, and we won't even know if this is good until the next set, Raging Battle, which has the other half of the core for the deck. And there is Flying Fortress Skyfire. So there's a series of 3 monsters. They're reactors. They're Spell Reactor RE, Summon Reactor SK, and Trap Reactor Wi-Fi that you can turn into this low-rarity boss monster that's nearly impossible to deal with, but it's just too many hoops to jump through. There's another Morphtronic map, another Force Field as well, so we're picking up the Morphtronic cards, but that's about it. No Blackwings. Really want to see the Blackwings and the Morphtronics, and I'll be happy. There's our first Flip-Flop Frog. There are a couple frogs in this set that we're going to be looking for as well, especially Dupe Frog, but Flip-Flop Frog's fine. The rest of this pack, on the other hand, is not. And there's another Flip-Flop Frog. There's also a third Sirocco, which I will take. Sirocco's nice to have, but Bora is far more important. We're about halfway through the box, and we still haven't seen a Gale, we haven't seen a single Dupe Frog, and only 1 Bora. That is not a good sign. And there is a ultra rare. It is Life Force Harmonizer. This is a hand trap for effect damage. Unfortunately, it's not a tuner, so I don't think this is going to be played, but it is a hand trap. And then I didn't even notice that we got our 3rd Morphtronic map and another Borden. Borden is really important for the deck because it's the deck's primary win condition. Filling out that playset of map is nice. There's a 3rd Borden, still missing a lot of commons, though. And there is another super rare. It is Dimension Fortress Weapon. I also need to read this card. This prevents milling. So this could be a side deck card against something like Lightsworn or even Frog later on. And there is our first Dupe Frog. We are 2/3 of the way through the box, and I'm getting quite nervous. We are missing so many important commons, and we also have not seen a Gale yet. I may end up having to craft a Gale depending on what we get out of here, but we are running out of packs, and we have so many cards missing. And there is an ultimate rare. It is Bone Crusher. What does this even do? It is Zombie Support. I don't think we're going to be playing Zombie without that Zombie World card. And we're also just missing a bunch of other support. But in the event that we do get Zombie together, that is not a bad card. There's another super rare. It is Totem Dragon, another super rare I have to read. So if you're playing dragons, it can be a way to get a pretty powerful dragons out. So that could actually be interesting because I do have the makings of a Blue Eyes deck, but none of the rest of these cards are great, and we are rapidly running out of packs. We only have 6 packs left. And there's another super rare. I really don't want to see super rares, but we keep getting them. This one is Turret Warrior. That's one big potential monster, but I still don't think it's worth it. Oh no, we did get one. We got an Arcanite Magician Assault Mode as an ultimate rare. We do not have Arcanite Magician, so this will be rotting in our collection. And the rest of these cards are not very good either. And there's another super rare. It is Armoroid. I do have the makings of a Vehicle deck, and this is a Banishing Heavy Storm if you tribute summon it by tributing a Vehicle. So this could actually be worth considering. And we did get a second Dupe Frog, so we will be able to perform the Dupe Block later. But we just don't have the cards to be able to make that deck right now, especially not without a Substitoad. If I do get a rare wild card, I do need to consider crafting a Substitoad, but that's a ways out. Alright, so only 3 packs left. Blackwing is not looking great. We do not have a Gale, and we only have 1 Bora. So we will see if we can get at least 1 more Bora and a Gale, then we can consider playing it. Even if we just get a Bora, we can always craft a Gale depending on what we open in Raging Battle. But I would really like to see 1 Bora, please. And we got the Ghost Rare Red Dragon Archfiend Assault Mode. Now, we can actually make this, so I might end up trying to play this as a meme, because my deck can make Red Dragon Archfiend pretty easily. We also did get our playset of Flip-Flop Frog, but I would really like to see 1 more Bora, please. I would like to play Blackwing and not get just completely destroyed by Kalute when Demon just opens the nuts Blackwing, because this is such a low rarity archetype. Alright. Can I get 1 Bora, please? That's not a Bora, that's not a Gale. This is not looking good. Alright, let's see what's in our very last pack. Bora, please. That did not look like a, wow. We did get a 3rd Dupe Frog, though, so we could have a pretty strong Frog deck in the making, but I am very disappointed. And now I don't mind getting common wildcards, because I may be able to fill those out with some stuff, but only 1 Bora is very disappointing. So I will see what I can come up with. I have a good idea what I'm building, but I'm not quite sure yet. We did also get a 3rd copy of Assault Mode Activate if we want to play that Red Dragon Archfiend Assault Mode, but it's just so many hoops to jump through. See you in deck edit. So this is the deck that we will be bringing to today's duel, and oh boy, does this look a lot more competent than the last Turbo Duel deck that we played. This is Gladiator Beast, and this is quite a lot more consistent than the hero deck, that's for sure. So I'll run you through the card by card. We have 1 Cyber Dragon just as a going second card and a way to get more board presence, as well as to go into our Synchro 7s. 1 Cyber Jar to reset the board, and then the Glads. 1 Bestiari, newly limited on the most recent FNL list. It needed to happen though, because this card is very powerful on its own, as well as being necessary to go into our main extra deck monster. Now this will pop a back row when it tags in, and then we have 2 copies of Gladiator Beast Darius. When this tags in, you get to target a Gladiator Beast monster in your graveyard, and then special summon it, but its effects do get negated. This is often used to go into additional plays with Geyserus, as well as the other fusions. Then we have 1 copy of Dimakari, only running 1 because this guy is kind of mediocre, but it still isn't bad. And then we have triple Gladiator Beast to Kest. This is a recursion engine for the deck. This will allow us to add Gladiator Beast cards, not just monsters, Gladiator Beast cards from the grave to hand. So we can use this to get back Proving Ground, as well as some other support. 2 copies of Hoplomys. I would really like to have run a copy of Laquari, but I did not pull one. Hoplomys is our big defender. If it's tagged in, it's a 2400 defender, which can contest Monarchs. Then we have 1 copy of Murmillo. I'm very glad to have this, even though we only have 1 copy of it. 1 is all you really need. This will kill a monster when it tags in, and I'm very excited to have the card. 1 copy of Samnite. This is mostly to make sure that we have enough names to make our deck go. This will allow you to tutor out Glads from your deck, but it takes a bit of work to do so. And then 1 copy of Spartacus is our top end. Moving on to the tutors for our emergency teleport, we have 2 copies of Krebons. We crafted one of these at the end of our last duel, and I'm pretty happy to have done that. And then we have 1 copy of Psychic Commander for a 3, and then 1 Sandgan, 1 Test Tiger. This was a craft at the end of, I believe, believe Gladiator's Assault. So I was pretty happy to be able to craft this, and we're going to be able to have that pay off now. And then 1 Witch of the Black Forest rounding out the monsters. For the spells, double speed spell Angel Baton, 1 speed spell Emergency Teleport, triple speed spell Gladiator Proving Ground. This is pretty reasonable at only 3 speed counters to be able to search out our Gladiator Beasts. 2 speed spell Half Seize. This will allow our Gladiator Beasts to get over large monsters, and this attack halving is permanent. 2 copies of speed spell Mystical Space Typhoon. Glad to be able to play more than 1 of these. And then triple speed spell Silver Contrails. This is probably the most potent speed spell in our deck. This will, at the cost of 1 speed counter at quick play speed, give one of our monsters 1000 attack. So this is a damage step trick that can really catch our opponent off guard. And that's it for the spells. For the traps, we have double acceleration zone. So I'm going to try this in place of full throttle to see if this will help us catch up on speed counters, because one thing with all the speed spells that I ran into before is this deck tends to fall behind on speed counters pretty quickly, but it also doesn't want the game to go on so long that full throttle would be better than this. The only downside is if we have more than 6 speed counters, we cannot activate this, because you need to be able to actually add 6 speed counters to your copy of Speed World. And then 1 Call of the Haunted, 1 Dark Bribe, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Ring of Destruction, 1 Solemn Judgment, and 2 Waboku rounding out our list. Waboku is very important because this way our Glads can survive battle if they get hit over. And then in the extra, we have 2 copies of Gaio Diaz, which we're probably not going into, and then 1 copy of Gladiator Beast Geyserus, newly crafted from the Light of Destruction set. This card is absolutely incredible, and this card is single-handedly responsible for making Gladiator Beast a top-tier deck at this time, and getting Bestiary limited. And then for the synchros, we have triple Black Rose, Magical Android, and double RDA. Still looking to pick up some more synchros, especially a Synchro 6, because we don't have a great Synchro 6, but we can make 7s with a 5 and a 2 or a 4 and a 3. And then with Krebons and any of the 3s, we can make Magical Android. RDA is a little bit harder. We can still make it with the right cards. For the side deck, we have triple DD Crow for the Dark World matchup, a Fiber Jar in case we want another board wipe, but we don't really get value with this deck unless our opponent has cards on the field, so this is in here just if we need another board wipe for some big monsters. 2 Speed Spell Book of Moon, 2 Speed Spell Noble of Crossout, 1 D-Prison, a 1 Dust Tornado, double Full Throttle, 1 Macrocosmos, and 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. I'm pretty excited to see his reaction that we actually got a Gladiator Beast core, and to hopefully take this match, because there are a lot of really important promos on the line. I hope you're ready, because it's time to rev it up!
So we're back on the bikes.
We are, and this is a critical duel. There's a crazy list of promos on the line, and there's also some very critical cards that I would like to snag off of the wheel before next time, since next time there's just more critical stuff. This time of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds was just packed with just stacked ass releases.
Oh yeah, which it's crazy when you think about it. Like, this was the time where a lot of players had quit for a while because of Dark Arm Dragon, and then just all this extra crazy shit dropped during that time frame. So when the people came back, they had a lot of stuff to catch up on.
Oh yeah, and this is really, this list, this 2009 list, is really when Konami fixed the format.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to this one.
Ah, damn.
Cool. I will go ahead and be on the play.
Alright.
Good luck, duelist.
Good luck. And... oh, of course. That's twice now you've drawn it.
I mean, it's going to happen about 1 in every 8 duels, but let's go ahead and begin the game with a draw for the turn, move to the standby phase, add a speed counter, move to the main phase. I'm just going to set 2 back row and pass.
Oh, interesting. Alright. Draw, standby, and, I think I'm just going to set a monster, set a card, and pass.
At your end phase, I'm going to shed 2 speed counters and space the back row.
Ooh, okay. You got my hero signal.
Still on the heroes, alright. Draw for turn, standby, add a speed counter, go to main, and here we go. I am going to run out Gladiator Beast to cast.
Ooh,
I've
okay.
been waiting to play this for a while. I was just missing a key card. Go to the battle phase.
All right.
16. Is it
It's
Clayman?
my Clayman.
Figured.
Look on the bright side, you at least get to summon out something.
I do. End of battle phase, we're gonna tag out.
Did you actually get the Murmillo this time?
I'm going to make, instead of that, what do I want to make? I'm going to be defensive. I'm going to make Hoplimus.
Okay.
So it's 2,400. After combat, I'm just going to pass the turn.
Alright. Draw. Stand by. Get a counter. Main. That's interesting. The question is, do I want to do that? What is your face down card?
Good question.
Okay. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I'm going to remove 3 speed counters and fire off speed spell reinforcement of the army.
You got it.
Let's add a
Wait,
copy.
when did you get a Rhoda?
Okay, I love the fact that you noticed that just now and not last episode when I used it. I got it from the Gold Series pack.
Right, it was in there.
Okay, that right there is a friggin' highlight.
That is.
Alright, I'm gonna add Jude Fighter to hand. And I'm gonna run out Jude Fighter.
Jute Fighter is pretty good.
And let's go ahead and make the terror of the format, Goyo Guardian.
You got a Goyo Guardian?
Don't you remember that from the tin last time? Because that's where you got your your third montage dragon from.
That's a problem.
Wah.
That's bad. Here you go.
Main phase 2. Unfortunately, it does kind of put me in a slightly awkward position because you could just ram something in there to get 2 of them. But I'm going to set a card and pass.
Why can't I get 2? You control it.
Oh, true. I forgot it's not automatic. I forgot it's not mandatory.
It is not
to shuffle it back.
Draw for turn. Stand by. Add a speed counter. Main. I need to do something about Goyo Guardian. And I think this is my best bet. I don't like it, but I think this is what I have to do. I'm going to run out Darius.
Ooh.
I'm going to go to battle phase. I'm going to hit into the Hoplimus, so I'll take 400. That good.
That's good.
End the battle phase. I'm going to tag out, and I do have the Murmillo this time. I am going to pop the Goyo.
Fair enough.
That's why I didn't Murmillo before. I will pass the turn.
Alright. Draw. Stand by. Another counter. Main. I'm going to run out a Sparkman.
That's what I was afraid of.
And let's take care of Murmillo.
Yeah, this is the problem with Murmillo, is it's so small.
And I'll pass the turn.
Alright, draw for turns, stand by, add a speed counter, main. I will run out another Darius.
Okay.
I'm going to go to battle. I'm going to hit over the Sparkman.
I will take 100.
Alright, and then end the battle. I'm going to tag out, and then go for the newly limited Bestiary. Pop your back row.
Damn, I was hoping that wasn't going to happen. Oh well.
Interesting that you set that. After combat, I am going to set another back row, and I will pass the turn.
Okay. Draw. Stand by. Main. What do I... Let's see. This is going to be a slight trouble. Okay. I'm going to... This is a tough one, because I can't just leave the field empty like this, because if that happens, all you have to do is just ram Bestiary back into it and get another Murmillo. I have to go for it. I'm going to run out Sparkman.
You got a Sparkman.
Let's see if we could clip that wing.
Damage step.
Oh, shit. What is this?
I'm going to remove a speed counter and fire speed spell, Silver Contrails.
What the hell?
Yep, this
Increase the attack of a monster by 1,000 until the end phase. Oh.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that's a problem. I take 900 damage now. And... Okay, yeah, end of battle.
Tag out. I'm going to grab myself a... I'm going to grab a Kest. Pick up Murmillo.
Ew. Okay. The fact that you did that implies to me that you only have the one Murmillo in deck. I'm going to end my turn.
Draw for turn. Stand by. Add a counter. Main. Alright, how do we out this Hoplimus is the question. I know how I'm going to try to out this Hoplimus. I'm going to go digging. I'm going to speed spell Angel Baton.
Alright.
That's not great. I'm going to pitch this a Kest.
Okay.
Why can I not out this Hoplimus? I'm gonna set a monster.
Coil Guardian is still cursing you from the grave.
Set a monster, set a back row, and pass the turn.
Alright. Draw. Stand by. Main.
The amount of speed counters you have is getting concerning, too.
I do not like this. I'm going to set a monster and pass the turn.
Right, draw for turn, stand by, add a speed counter, main. I will run out this Dimakari.
Okay.
Go to battle, Dimakari into your set.
That is my Witch of the Black Forest.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And I think I'm going to retrieve... I'm not a huge fan of this one, but I think I'm going to add my Cyber Jar to hand.
That's not bad. Do I want to tag Dimakari out? No. I think I'm just going to pass.
Alright. Draw. Stand by. Main.
It's too many speed counters.
I'm going to set a monster.
Could be anything.
Could be anything. Set a card and pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by. Main. You know what? Let's just go to battle. This is a very obvious jar.
I'm gonna actually no entry here.
You want to flip that? Oh, you want to flip jar during your main phase, don't you? Yeah, that's ugly. Sure. To defense they go.
I was gonna say if you want to bribe it, go right ahead, but
Main phase 2. I'm gonna set another back row and pass the turn.
all right. Draw. Stand by. Main.
That's becoming such a problem.
Okay. How do I want to do this exactly?
I get the feeling some dumb speed spell is coming.
Okay. First, I think I'm going to flip my Cyber Jar.
Obvious.
And let's plot the field.
Obvious Cyber Jar is obvious. There was a Sandgun underneath there. So we have that, huh? So Spartacus will go to hand. E-Telly will go to hand. I think I'm actually just gonna summon everything.
Let's see.
Not gonna lie, that E-Telly is pretty good.
It is. So I'm gonna run out Sparkman, Wildheart. Okay. Question now is how this honestly is not doing as much help for me as I thought it would.
That's why I was so excited to see the 1700 guys.
Okay. I'm gonna remove 4 speed counters
To deal 800?
to activate Angel
Angel
Baton.
Baton, yeah, that's pretty good. Angel Baton's fine.
Right. I will pitch this. Ooh, what do I want to pitch actually? I think I'm going to pitch this copy of Saku. What can I even do here is the question.
There's a fusion coming, isn't there? I mean, you can make some pretty scary fusions with just what you have. I think you can make just about anything in your extra deck.
Just about.
That's what's scary.
Problem is the fact that there's a few things. Yeah, that might be my best option. Okay, I'm going to activate the speed spell, Speed Fusion.
Yeah, you can fuse away. Oh, this is Shining Phoenix Enforcer?
Oh wait, no, I'm stupid. It was Wildheart that I needed to.
Oh, is this
I was misreading.
Is this Wild Wingman?
It's not Wild Wingman, but it is Necroid Shaman.
Oh, Necroid Shaman to pop.
I'll pop Krebons.
Okay.
And
I'm assuming you want Hop.
yeah, let's go ahead and bring Hop back. Also, did you get your Sandgun Search?
Oh, I did not get my Sandgun Search. I'm so sorry.
No problem. I was gonna say it doesn't really change a whole lot in this regard anyway.
I'm gonna get Test Tiger.
So you did pull a Test Tiger, okay.
I had to craft that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got a.
Okay.
I think it was in. I forget when I got that. It was pretty late in. I don't think it was in 5Ds, but it was in GX. I just got a UR wildcard and couldn't find anything better to craft than Test Tiger.
Right. Okay. All right. Battle phase. Necroid Shaman is going to go into your Hoplimus.
I am going to Waboku.
Ah. Okay.
Then I gotta think about what I want to do with the Hoplimus, because I'm assuming you're trying to leave the battle phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, end of battle phase. I think I am gonna tag out the Hoplimus. Unfortunately, the Spartacus is in my hand, which is just horrible. Let's get Darius effect, get a Kest.
Okay.
I'll mark this a Kest to signify that its effect is negated.
Okay. Main 2, I will set 2 cards, and I will pass the turn.
Draw for turn, standby, main. I think I need to do this now. Bestiari.
Okay.
And then you're about to see the other big craft. Tag out.
Oh, you crafted Geyserus.
I just crafted this too.
Alright.
Let's go ahead and pop both your back row.
Ooh.
This is the entire reason why I'm playing this deck, is because I finally got to craft this friggin' card.
Actually, I'm gonna actually activate
You're gonna
no entry.
You're gonna chain the no entry?
Yeah.
This is gonna get the Dark Ride.
Damn, okay.
Alright, let's go to battle, and then let's do a little bit of cleanup on aisle 5 here.
Alright, so I'll take 5 there.
And then the Darius. And then 33.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
And then end of battle phase, I have a lot of things that I need to do, and these are all separate chains too.
Yeah.
So I am going to tag out the Geyserus, and I'm going to gonna kind of go for pressure here, or not pressure, but I need to get stuff out of here. I'm going to go for a Hop and a Samnite.
Samnite.
I am going to tag out. I gotta make sure. Do I have any Akests left, or are all 3 out? I think there's 1 Akest left. So I think I'm gonna tag out this Darius to get Akest. Akest effect, add Akest to hand. And I won't tag anything else out.
Okay.
Then main 2, I am going to set 1. And pass the turn.
Alright. Draw. Stand by.
So much value.
Main. Okay. What do I want to do here is the question.
This is clearly the part where you activate Speed Spell the End of the Storm.
I wish, but I don't have enough counters for that anyway.
You do.
I thought it required 10.
It's 8.
Oh. Oh well.
Yeah, Speed Spell the End of the Storm is 8.
Okay, what are we gonna go into for this is the question. Okay, first, do I really want to do that? I feel like I don't have a choice. Alright, I'm gonna remove 7 counters.
Alright, what do I get to see?
To draw a card.
You have to show me a Speed Spell. Okay.
Well, you're about to see it in just a second anyway, because I'm gonna remove 2.
You're gonna space the... What are you spacing?
I'm gonna pop that one.
You got the good one.
Whoo! Shit, thank God.
Yeah,
Alright.
That card is so good in Glads in particular.
Okay, so I'm going to start by summoning out Cyber Dragon.
You have a Cyber Dragon. Oh, also this Hoplimus is 24. I should probably mark it.
Yeah, okay. So Cyber Dragon's
and then
there.
This has its effect too.
How exactly do I want to do this one? Okay. I'm going to run out Dark Resonator.
This is Stardust Dragon, isn't it?
Let's see.
Now I see why you were so happy to see that Silver Contrail's gone, because then you just get blown out by it when you go to attack with Stardust Dragon.
Yeah, let's see. That's an option too. The question is, does that actually help as much, is the real question. Okay, I'm going to sync these 2 to get...
Unless you have a different Synchro 8. I mean, I guess you have Colossal Fighter too, that you could potentially get. Because I know you have you have a Colossal Fighter from the deck.
I'm gonna go into... I feel like I might need to go for safety. I'm gonna bring out Thought Ruler Archfiend.
That is not a Colossal Fighter. I was almost expecting you to just get Colossal Fighter, although life points are pretty good too.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna slam into the Sam Knight, which thankfully is low enough that even if you have another Silver Contrails, it's not gonna be enough to save it.
11 in. Yeah, that's the big issue, is just that. And it gains you life points too, which is really big. Just... How big would this Colossal Fighter be? It'd be gigantic.
Oh yeah, it would be pretty big, because it's gonna be it would be 100 attack for every warrior in both of our fields.
3,600. That would be enormous. Draw for turn, standby, add a speed counter, main. Unfortunately, you seem to have made a grave miscalculation with making Thought Ruler Archfiend. I am going to remove 10 speed counters from Speed World 2, and I'm going to show you the speed spell Emergency Teleport that you know is in my hand to pop your Thought Ruler Archfiend.
Yeah, unfortunately, there wasn't really a whole lot I could do about that.
No, not really. So the whole time, I was making sure to keep my speed counters around the middle when I had all those back row, because I was specifically trying to play around speed spell Gap Storm. Gladiator Beast Geyserus is what made Gladiator Beast so good in this format.
Oh yeah. Alright, I'm gonna take the play.
And that is 100% the reason why Bestiary got limited. Good luck.
Good luck. Let's see.
Yeah, I drew it again.
God damn. That's 3 out of 4 so far. That's crazy.
That's pretty uncanny, yeah.
Alright, draw. Standby. Main. I'm going to start with a set, and set 2, and pass the turn.
Draw for turn. Stand by, main. Unfortunately, this hand is not very good. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Go.
Alright. During your end phase, I'm going to speed... Yeah, I'm going to space and pop this one.
Ah, that's the one I didn't want you to pop. You got my Acceleration Zone.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a big one. Draw. Standby. Main. Let's see. Is that going to be a Hoplomist, or is that going to be a lower power one?
That is the question.
I think I'm just going to set another monster and set another card.
Draw for turn. Stand by. Main. Set 1. Go.
Riveting.
Yeah, great gameplay. I guess we have to get up to speed.
I guess so.
Draw for turn. Stand by. Main. Man, this puts me so far ahead if I do this. Yeah, if I do this, this puts me so far ahead. Because you're down to 2 cards. But those back row are scary. Yeah, those back row are really scary. This is too tantalizing not to go for, though. Psychic Commander.
Ooh, okay.
That good?
That's good.
I'm going to flip summon Hoplomist.
It was Hoplomist. I knew it!
I'm going to sink.
Okay. Black Rose?
Boom.
And you're nuking the board?
Yep. Yeah, I'm activating.
Yeah, you're getting some good ones.
I lost a Judgment, though, so that's not ideal, but I think just the card advantage is too much to pass up.
I do get my Sangan, though, which is nice.
I still think, even with that, I go plus on this exchange. Yeah, your back row is stacked.
I think I'm going to add a Spell Striker to hand.
Spell Striker's pretty good. Set 1 and pass.
Alright. Draw. Standby. Main. So I'm going to go ahead and banish my MST to bring out the Spell Striker.
You got it.
Battle. Spell Striker in.
600.
Main 2, I will set a monster, and I will pass.
Draw for turn. Standby, add a speed counter. Main. I'm going to remove 3 speed counters to go for Speed Spell Gladiator Proving Ground.
Okay.
What do I want? Probably just the biggest one. Yeah, we'll just go for Darius here. Summon Darius.
Alright.
Go to battle, kill the Spell Striker, you won't take anything. End the battle phase, you know what's coming. Pop the set. Whoa, 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 hold on. So I know what you're thinking. It's Riker Rider from the future, and I just want to address what happened before we proceed any further in this duel. You may have noticed that the effect of Gladiator Beast Murmillo was illegally resolved here. This effect reads, when this card is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, target one face-up monster, destroy that target. Both of us completely missed this in the moment. While I was unsure of the defense value of DemonBattler's set monster, had I been aware in the moment that Murmillo can only pop face-up monsters, I would have attacked the face-down monster with Darius instead, and the outcome of this duel would have been the same. However, because Murmillo's effect is mandatory, it would have been forced to pop itself, leaving me with no board. This was one of the most common judge calls at the time in the constructed format. While I won't spoil anything further about the duel yet, unfortunately, this improper resolution completely changed the outcome of this duel. Furthermore, due to our work schedules not working well for us to consistently record, and DemonBattler and I preparing for a small in-person community meetup around the time we recorded this episode, we had to record this so far in advance that we will not be able to apply a fix in a reasonable amount of time. As a result, for the Duelist Revolution episode, which is the next episode we have yet to record at the time of editing this video, I will be awarding DemonBattler an extra wheel spin of whatever variety he was due at the end of The Shining Darkness, the last episode we had recorded at the time, plus 2 additional band tickets. All of this is to be redeemed at the start of the Duelist Revolution episode before we open our sealed product. I want to apologize for what transpired. It was an honest mistake and with no intent of malice. And with that, I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode.
Yep, that was my King of the Swamp.
Then main phase 2, I'll set one. Go.
Alright, draw. Stand by. Main. I have the Sparkman. And let's hit in.
I don't have a Silver Contrails to punish this, but I do have a Waboku.
Ah, god damn it. Okay.
So then, if you'll allow me to... Okay, I'm going to tag out during end of battle phase, and I'm going to grab... What's in my graveyard? There's a Hopliness in there. That's not bad. I am going to go for... You don't have any back row, do you?
I do not.
So I can't go for Bestiari here, because I
mean, you can, it'd be pointless. Like, you'd have to lose your face down, but...
Yeah, that's a problem. I'm going to just go for Darius Effect, get Hopliness. Can this special summon? Yeah, that can special summon any position. And this is negated. You can proceed.
We'll pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by, add a speed counter, main. Let's go ahead and... I'm going to actually just switch this Hopliness to attack. Let's go ahead and just hit in with the Darius.
Okay.
And then I'll attack directly with the Hopliness for 7. Then, end of battle phase, we will tag out the Hopliness first. That's very important. I am going to grab a Dimakari. And then I will also tag out the Darius. Oh, this is sick. I'm going to get a Kest off of Darius. And then main phase 2, I'm going to overlay for number 39 Utopia and pass.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah, we're going to have to deal with that soon.
Main.
That's another thing that's going to make this deck good even in Zexal, is because this is also just a rank 4 engine, too.
Yeah. God, what do I want to do here? I'm going to remove 3 speed counters to activate my speed spell Rhoda.
You got it.
Let's get... God, this does not look good. I guess I'll get Clayman.
I mean, Clayman is kind of hard for me to get over. Alright, Bestiari off the top would be fantastic.
Wait. Oh, I forgot. I need to take one more off. There we go.
Alright, draw for turn. Stand by, add 1, main. Murmillo's back in my deck. Yeah, sure. I'm okay with taking 400 to pop this Murmillo. Hit the Clayman. I take 400. End the battle phase. I will go into Murmillo and eat the Clayman.
Alright.
Main phase 2, I'll set 1. Go.
Draw. Stand by. That might be able to help me.
This Dimakari has its effect, too.
Well, that doesn't actually do enough here. Okay, I'm going to normal summon Jude Fighter.
You have a Jude Fighter.
I'm going to use the effect and switch Murmillo to defense.
Sure.
Battle, let's beat him up.
I'm going to let the Murmillo go.
And I'll pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by, go to 11. Main. How do I get maximum value here is the question. We'll go to 8 for Speed Spell Gladiator Proving Ground. I think I just go for maximum offense here. So I'm gonna get Darius. Make Darius. Go to battle. 17 into Jute Fighter.
I will take 1,000.
And then 32 direct with Dimakari.
Alright.
End of battle. I'm actually going to leave Darius where he is. I'm going to pass the turn.
Alright. Draw. Standby. Main. I'm going to special summon my Cyber Dragon.
Sure.
Battle. Let's go into Darius.
Unfortunately for you, I do have the Mirror Force.
Alright. That sucks. Main 2, I guess I will set and pass.
Alright. Draw for turn. Standby, go to 10. Main, and then the game is going to end the same way. I'm going to remove 10 counters, show you the speed spell Half Seize, and pop your set, and that should be the end of the game.
Yep. Ah, that sucks.
That's one of the reasons why I went to 10, and yeah, there's a lot of important things that are still going for you. Because you were on a 5-loss streak when you won your first game, you'll actually be at a 3-loss streak for purposes of prizes, which could be really important for you. And speaking of prizes, there are a lot of just really important promos that were on the line. So how about we just go ahead and get to those now?
Sure.
So we had a very large number of miscellaneous promos that were extremely format impacting that came out around this time. And we decided that because of the number of promos and how much impact they have, it would be unfair for one person to claim all of these promos. So we're going to be drafting the following 7 promos, like we would a tin set. They are Gandora the Dragon of Destruction, Dandelion, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, Gorz the Emissary of Darkness, Beast King Barbaros, and Tragodia. So all of these cards are incredibly powerful in their own decks. Now, Barbaros in particular won't be too useful for us because Skill Drain is banned, but all of these cards are incredibly powerful. Most of them were magazine promos, but Gorz had a very interesting distribution. The way this was distributed is there was also a reprint set called Dark Legends that came out about this time. It was not given to local game stores. You could only buy this from big box stores. It came in blister packs where you got 2 packs of Dark Legends and then a copy of Gorz the Emissary of Darkness, which was given the secret rare treatment, and this was not in the main set.
I guess since you won. You get to pick 4 of them, I get 3. So go ahead and make your first pick. Which one are you going to take?
That's such a hard choice, because all of these cards are really, really powerful. But I think that the one that has the most staying power long-term that's going to be extremely good early on and later on is Dandelion. So I'm going to grab the Dandelion.
Damn! That's the one card I wanted to pick up.
The reason why I'm taking this is because this is needed to build some pretty powerful Synchro Spam decks, like Plant Synchro, now, and then once we get to Lynx, this card is extremely ban-worthy because this is a 1-card Link 3.
It really is.
But that's not for Alright, so there's 6 cards left. What do you want?
Man, you just shot my entire plan down the shitter. I guess I'm gonna have to pick my next choice, which is going to be Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon.
I mean, that's a good second pick, and one of the reasons why I was thinking about giving you the Dandelion is because I had my eye on this. So the reason why this card is so powerful is because by just having this in your extra deck, this discourages people from playing Machine, since all you have to do is you just special summon Cyber Dragon and you can eat any Machine player's board. So this is very, very powerful, and I imagine will get banned once there's a good Machine archetype, once one of us wants to play something like, say, Despot.
Yeah, this can be a real pain in the ass at that point.
Alright, so then the next card I am going to take, as much as I would like to take Gorz, because Gorz is funny, I think I'm actually going to grab the Trag.
Yeah, that makes sense. Actually pretty good, and it's basically just Gorz in general, just minus the token.
Well, the thing
and with the level modulation, it's a big one too.
Trag is also a lot easier to bring out because you just have to take battle damage, where Gorz, you also have to control no cards. I mean, Gorz is bigger, but I just think that Trag is a little bit more versatile, and it's very easy to go into large synchro plays with this, especially when we get synchro monsters whose levels are greater than 8.
Right.
Okay.
Alright, well, I think my next pick is going to be Red Eye's Darkness Metal Dragon.
Oh, you're gonna take the Red MD? I'm actually okay with that. I mean, Red MD is nuts. We'll have a
Like, it does require dragons specifically to work with, but at the same time, dragons are a powerful type, and we're gonna have access to a lot of dragon cards later down the road. So,
and just a note, this is also pre-errata, so yeah,
be a big thing for us then.
Because the errata for this, I believe, was that there is a hard once per turn on the summon and a hard once per turn on the effect, rather than it being a soft once per turn. So that's highly abusable. And then, obviously, if you're going to take that, then I'm going to just grab the Gores and then leave you with the Gandora that you wanted.
Yeah, well, it's quote-unquote that I wanted, but yeah, Gandora's not a bad card. Gandora's really not a bad card at all. The only pain in the butt is the fact that it can't be special summoned.
I mean, I think
so you have to.
I think you.
So
can
I mean,
sorry. I was saying, I think you can make a little bit better use of this than I can.
I think the tough part is just going to be finding a way to reliably get it out. So, but at least it's there, which means that you get the last card, which is Beast King Barbaros.
I'm sure the Beast King Barbaros would have gone a lot earlier if Skill Drain was not banned in our format, because it is Skill Drain that makes this card powerful.
Yeah, good point. I guess that's the promo, so I guess it's time to go into the catch-up wheel.
Very, very important spins for both of us, actually. That Gladiator Beast deck did exactly what I wanted it to do. We are going to be riding the value train to victory in turbo duels for a while to come, unless of course something gets banned. But for now, let's go ahead and spin the wheel. I'm actually looking at the common and rare wildcards, believe it or not. There are some commons and rares that are very important out of Crimson Crisis that I missed or got very few copies of. So let's go ahead and take 2 cracks at the wheel, and hopefully we get those wildcards that we are looking for. Really pulling for those low rarity wildcards. I know, it sounds strange. Alright, we got one of the commons that I'm looking for. Perfect. I already have a common card in mind, and I know exactly what I'm taking. So the common wild that I'm going to be taking for this is I am going to craft my second copy of Blackwing Bora the Spear. I only pulled 1 copy of this card out of Crimson Crisis, and it is very, very important to have 3 copies of this card if possible to be able to play Blackwing, since the other half of Blackwing comes in the next set, which is Raging Battle. So we'll go ahead and head back to the prize wheel, and hopefully we can get another common or another rare wild card. Those are really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a common to craft another Aura, and a rare to be able to craft a Gale, but it does not look like it. We are going to get an ultra rare wild card, though. That is pretty fantastic. I think I know what I'm going to take with this. So I know what you're thinking. Rai, why are you not crafting Goyo Guardian? It's the most powerful Synchro 6. Well, we're going to have chances to get Synchro 6s later, and this is support for the best attribute in the game, which is Dark. I am going to craft a copy of Allure of Darkness. I already have an Allure of Darkness, but I'm actually going to craft another one, and Goyo Guardian, we will have more chances to craft this, whereas Allure of Darkness, this card is nutty for any sort of dark deck, including Blackwing, which I'm hoping to play for the next episode. So that'll wrap things up for today's episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression Series. Join us for Raging Battle, where we could well end up playing a Blackwing mirror. Until then, see you around.